Yeah. And the 1 and the 2 when the black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? What y'all know about Black Hole Sun? Rock band? Any rock banders out there? Motherfucker. Man, I think I think. Yeah, we'll get started soon. We'll get started soon. We'll get started soon. We'll get started soon. Yeah, we'll get started soon. I just gotta say the intro until till Jared gets off his ass, writes that starting track. No, I'm concerned that let me just listen to it back real quick. I had the interview yesterday, and I fucked with my mic settings a little bit. So let me just make sure this doesn't sound like dookie trash. Oh, that sounds beautiful. Yeah, my little bars on the screen, my little audio reads are looking kind of funny. But I guess we're all set, brother. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Just let me get all my sensitive information off the motherfucking screen. Player, feel me? Player, shit. I don't know why I'm doing that. I should stop immediately. Now we're gonna get started. Just give me a hold on. Just relax, brother. Okay, now I'm ready. Yeah. Hey, little angel with the bottle, I don't love you anymore. Just take my time now. Don't take my money. I don't love you anymore. Alright, now the music is out of my system now. Time to get all activate oily nerd mode. I'm telling y'all it's gonna catch on. Just remember where you heard it first. Oily nerd. Okay, make it happen. Fetch. This actually has legs, and like fetch. Because I am sick of all these oily fucking nerds. I feel like nerds have gotten a pass for so long just because they're nerds, brother. Like you think, just an angry little oily nerd. Don't worry about it. But it's time we stand up against them. But more on that later. So anyway, it's time to get started. Welcome to where are we at? Welcome to no, that's not the right episode, brother. You got Jer, bro. You got the wrong. Hold on, bro. The hell I pay you for? This is episode 25, brother. Ching, y'all. Don't worry about it. I'll do it. It's hard to find good help, y'all. That's all right. That's why you pay them cheap, make them earn it. You know, don't just give them the salary. You gotta. You can't just give it to them, brother. You gotta set milestones, or else they'll end up fucking around like this, like Jared. Yeah, he's doing research for 2 weeks, and fuck you researching, motherfucker. All right, anyway. So, welcome to episode 25 of the Swift and SwiftUI Learnalong. Yo soy host, Nico. You call me Ron, Slim Chicken, Ragged Knees, a lot of nicknames, but you know. Now, yesterday, we did a little bit of a speed run, but just to get you up to snuff, I know the stream is blowing up, so let me just get all the let me get all the new people situated. What you're looking at is a person that has, I would say, a small amount of programming experience with respect to like general purpose languages. So I've only written in Go previously, and that was mostly like microservice type stuff, ETL, bullshit. So never written like a GUI app legitimately. Well, I outside of a web app, but I don't really count those because they basically write themselves. I mean, seriously, you can just go buy a front end like for a web app, which is what I did, and I just modified it. So I didn't write that. So I don't really consider that. But from scratch, there's just a certain I want that, and so that's the purpose of this stream, along with many other things. So started a company. It's going to serve the ERP space. So basically anybody with physical inventory would be a customer. The interface is going to be an iOS application / iPad for starters. And then eventually I'm sure I'll have a web app. But the general idea is that it's going to be if you're familiar with the concept of MRP, material resource planning, it helps people make decisions about when and where and how and all that, how much. It helps them make decisions on what to buy in terms of raw materials coming in, all based off the inner workings of the company. So you can have like internal logic that can either put inventory on reserve, anything that's going to affect your inventory. Maybe you don't want to see that you have these 40 crates of whatever it is over there because you're still testing it, or it has to go through some kind of QA, and now you got inbound sales demand. So that's always a dynamic number that's hopefully continuously going up. We need sales, and then based off that demand, that generates the production scheduling. So they have to produce the finished goods. They're not just always pre-built, at least not with these folks, because they're manufacturers. That's what they do. They manufacture and assemble things. They cook things. Food manufacturers, and discrete. It doesn't really matter. It's the same concept. So there's a lot of problem areas that I identified working in that industry for a decade. I was working for a service company. We resold an ERP and had in-house manufacturing software that addressed food traceability directly, as required or as mandated by the 2008 bill that was passed into law, FSMA, by one Barack Obama. So that set off a whole, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for FSMA. Thanks, FSMA. Thanks, Obama. But no, I mean, that's what we did. So there's a clear problem that I am trying to solve, but there's a lot of work we got to do to get there, given the platform that I want to serve this on, and of course, all the learning we have to do. So now that you know the stage and why I'm here, yeah, I mean, it's important to me that people know why I'm here. I'm not here to just get subs. I don't give a shit about your sub, brother. No, I'm playing. You should sub, but this is not my primary, nor will it ever be my primary source of income. I just think part of it is cathartic. Part of it is motivating myself, because even if I can just get 5 people, seriously, that I see returning. Once I see somebody depending on something, even if it's not life or death, I just feel more motivated to do the thing. So that's also why I wanted to do it on stream. And then also as a reference point, because eventually I figure if I crash and burn, then worst case scenario, I have can you imagine hey, brother, you should hire me because look at what I did. So, I mean, it's two birds kind of a thing, which I pride myself on making these kind of decisions. No, but really, I'm just trying to be smart about it. And so ultimately, there's a lot of motivations for doing this stream, but none of it is to make money. That's the 4th or 5th rung down in priority. And so I like to say that what you're getting here, this is the real deal. Okay, it's ugly. Well, I'm not ugly, but it's an ugly process because we're actually learning. You're not watching a guy that already knows what he's doing, and I'm just like talking at you. I'm literally reading a book to you on Swift programming. So that's another upside to me, is you don't got to take my word for it in terms of what I'm spitting at you, brother. Although I will provide commentary where I see fit. But this is the Big Nerd Ranch guide that we're going through. Fantastic book. I'd give it so far like a 9.1 out of 10. There's some annoying things, but the quality is just so much higher than. And let me look at this. Let me show you all this real quick. What page are we on? I don't lose my spot. 375. These are all programming books. V and Python, AWS Lambda, and Spark, and iOS, and Go, and there's some Scala down here, Modern C, Clojure, GraphQL. I'm interested in these things. I think it's very interesting. I don't know all these languages, but I've read these books. Well, a lot of them, not all of them. A lot of these Word docs, yeah, I have not read those, but the actual books. And my point is that if anybody knows a good programming book when they come across one, brother, it's me. Okay? And so I'm telling you, just the learning style, or the writing style and the way in which it's taught is top tier. So if you have an interest in, well, obviously Swift, but other things, I would say see if there's a Big Nerd Ranch guide on it first. These are fantastic books. So last thing before we jump back into where we were yesterday, just to give you the lay of the land, after we do this book, so we're not quite halfway through this 800 pager, big o thick mama. No, but after we do this, we're going to go straight into another course that I purchased that I will share. That it's fair use, brother. Hey, relax. I'm not giving you access. It will be the same kind of display here, me doing it and you get to watch. I call it fly on the wall learning. I don't know who you are. You don't know who I am, but let's all learn together kind of a thing. Feel me? So it's not about the, like I said, I'm not trying to talk at you. You're just watching somebody learn, and hopefully you can glean something from that. And I think you can. And if nothing else, it'll show you what real learning looks like. Hopefully you can do it more efficiently than I. But I'm just saying, you do have to just sit and do it sometimes. All times, to actually learn. Now, after we do the SwiftUI, we're going to go into some system design. And actually, I'm going to put, pen to paper for all the app I talked about. We're gonna design all that. But effectively, the schema. That's like my main goal there. What's that gonna look like? And then we'll actually hop back into iOS, another literature, another Big Nerd Ranch guide. After that, we're gonna dive into iOS so we can learn the inner workings of the Apple platforms themselves. Because here we're more so digging deep into Swift, the programming language, right? So there's a whole semester ahead of us. But once that's done, then we'll just start building the app. And that's the plan, brother. Okay, so now that you've bought in completely, let's get started. Now, where was I struggling yesterday? So we were dealing with classes, and I was more or less struggling through it because at my old in a past life, the application that I was dealing with was a Fox Pro application. If you ever even heard of that, Visual Fox Pro, and it was, it's an object-oriented language, and it just caused a lot of problems. Not so much the OOP part, the inheritance. It's really the inheritance, and so this is kind of what we looked at yesterday. A number of different ways that we can interact with class, subclass, overriding things if we do it a certain way. We'll go through and do the example just so the book makes sense, but just know that we've already confirmed that we can write Swift applications through and through, web apps, iOS apps, whatever. Those can be written, and we can completely omit the use of classes. So we can either use, because it supports functional paradigms, we could use the protocols, which we've not interacted with yet, but sound interesting, and that's Swift apparently is asserted as the first protocol-oriented language. I don't know how much that's caught on, but I think it's interesting, just because if it provides an alternative to inheritance, because that to me is really what, at least from my experience, and the object-oriented code bases I've come across, that's really what it is. It really doesn't have much to do with the original definition of object orientation. It's like, or OOP, it's really just more like inheritance, and it gets used as a vehicle to just cut corners all the time. So it's like, wow, you churn that feature out fast. Yeah, but then you got 8 bug reports, and that's bullshit, and it's dank, and it's ugly, and customers hate it. It's shit. I don't like that, brother. And that speaks to the development. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying there's better ways to do it. Let's just leave it at that, brother. Okay, so then class. So where do we leave off? I got to static. Did we get to that point where I was monster.swift? I did not. Okay, so this is literally where we stopped. So zombie is now overriding. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's right. So we left off with, what did they call these? Generic, no. Oh, a type property. Yeah. So static was the emphasis here, because this would just be a normal property with a default value. If you define the property with static inside a class, enum or struct, then it will be a type property. And this was shown to us with the example of us defining this here, line 11, yeah. Static let is terrifying equal true. So by default, all monsters would be terrifying in this case. Anything of type monster, right? Then we go to zombie, where we define zombie. We said class zombie is of type monster, therefore it inherits all of the all of the properties of monster. And so then we see this in play when we go to main.swift, and down here in the print zombie.spooky noise, and then we do the dot notation, and we have access to is terrifying, which is the type property in monster that was inherited by zombie, which is why when we do the G, is it G? Yeah. I've really been slacking on my Vim commands. Shift $, for end of line, capital A, insert at the end of the line. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. So when we do zombie now, dot, and then we have access to the type property defined in our monster file. You dig? So that was effectively it. Yeah, so now let's go back to class var. We did that. Grr. Override. Oh, the interview went horribly, by the way. Luckily, like I told you guys, I already have a job, so I nailed those. That was the one I really wanted. And then I didn't get to record it. It's fucking Zoom, and like, I don't know what happened. But yeah, it was not good. And I guess part of it was because I knew I already had the job, so I couldn't be bothered to. There were just a couple. Okay, look, first of all, it was for JP Morgan Chase, right? So I'm expecting a certain level of professionalism here, and then they show up. It was remote, and some chick is there that I didn't expect, and she's like, "Oh, hey, she said, I'm here to stall until the people that are going to interview you get here." Which, look, if you're looking for a job, are you really going to care that the person that is supposed to interview you is 5-10 minutes late, you might care, but you're still gonna, try and, it's fine. Yes, sir. No problem. Yeah, don't worry about it. But if you already got a job, now I'm looking down my nose like, kept me waiting, bro. This does not bode well for you. In my head, so I'm thinking like, you gotta impress me because I don't need your job. I'm interviewing you too. That was the energy I came in with. And then, so I talked to the first guy. He was the department lead, whatever you want to call it. He was cool. He was informative. No complaints. So then I'm like, okay, I'll hear him out. You never know. But then the next dude came on. He just had a lot of bitch assness about him. Interrupting me, brother. And then didn't even have the decency to be on camera. I'm the only one on camera, and there's like these 3 dudes. I can't tell which one of them's interrupting me. Brother, now I'm trying here to understand what you're saying. First of all, meaning like your language. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, I apologize. But they do sound like that sometimes with that accent. Just like a British, they sound, that's how they sound. And so it's hard to understand, especially over the phone. If I can see because trust me, I worked with and I loved her to death, but I never would say we had ultra clear communication. I worked with this Israeli older lady developer, and she had a very heavy accent. And over time, but I was in office with her and I could see her, talk to her, and we had to communicate a lot just because of the roles. But that was okay because on both sides we both knew we were, same team, we're just decent human beings to each other. If I didn't understand something, I would just be like, can you repeat that? He seemed to take offense to that, like I was mocking him or something. I said, can you say that again? I didn't understand you. And I said, one more time, I'm sorry, I'm just not understand. I couldn't fucking understand what the fuck he's saying. And when I finally understood what he's saying, I realized part of the reason why I wasn't, no comprende was because what he was saying was wrong. And so now I got to take flack and catch negative energy because I'm correcting you on something you said. And, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Well, which is it then, brother? Because everything you just asked was based on your wrong thing. So I tell you, I correct you on that. You're like, oh, okay, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Okay, so what's the new question? And he's looking at me like, no, well, how did you do that? I'm like, what do you mean? You said you understand. If it's incorrect, there's no answer to your incorrect phrasing. I reject the premise. How about that? It was ridiculous. Then some other guy interrupted. Well, let's just talk about the optimization storage in S3. Man, these guys are a bunch of jokers. So I did not get a good vibe, needless to say. Yeah. But I guess, one more notch on the belt. Experience is experience, I suppose. But yeah, no, it just, I got the sense that, some teams are like that, and I can kind of understand that. Like when I was at the old company, I wouldn't be like that, but I did have a sense of duty in interviews to be, not a bully like that. That was just handled the wrong way. But it was just funny being on the other side because I was on the other side for so long, doing interviews and whatnot. And I don't know, it was an interesting experience. But yeah, I could see him, getting flustered, and the first guy, the one that was actually on camera. Then the other two weren't even on camera. But yeah, oh well, that's how it goes, man. I would say, if nothing else, just strive to be in that position where you're not, all thirsty and you just gotta, yes sir, no matter how they treat, because it's nice when you're able to make some decisions about just the general vibe you get from people. You don't want to go somewhere where they're gonna more or less they're waiting for you to fuck up, you know. They just kind of like, they think, like, where's the new guy? What's the new guy doing? What's he been working on? You know what I mean? I hate that shit. Oh man, I hate that shit. And I really get the vibe that that's how they would be. So, dodge the bullet there. But then again, you know, hey brother, we'll see what that, if an offer comes back, we'll just talk money at that point. But anyway, zombie is terrifying. Let's get to it. Now we will not get derailed any longer. Okay, print runaway. We got there. Runaway. Yep. As you can see, we did this part. Build and run. Okay, no, that is it. Yeah. A static constant is very definitive. Monsters are terrifying, and subclasses cannot change that. All right, access control. Access control. You do not always want elements of your program's code to be visible to all other elements. In fact, you will frequently want to have much more granular control over your code's access. You can grant components of your code specific levels of access to other components of your code. This is called access control. You can grant. That's interesting. The only the furthest I've seen that kind of like permissive access within the language, I think, was probably Elixir with the, I think they do it with capitalization of the module or something like that, or of the function name, like if you want it to be exported or available outside that source file. But yeah, this is interesting to actually have a mechanism for it. Okay. For example, you might want to hide or expose a method on a class. Okay. A method being just a function assigned to a type, as we have come to understand it. Suppose you have a property that is used only within a class's definition. It could be problematic if another external type modified that property by mistake. It could be problematic if another external type modified that. Oh yeah, sure. With access control, you can manage the visibility of that property to hide it from other parts of the program. I guess it makes sense if it's a bigger app and you're on a team. Yeah. Doing so will encapsulate the property's data and prevent external code from meddling with it. Doing so will encapsulate the properties. Okay. Excuse me. Access control is organized around two important and related concepts: modules and source files. In terms of your project's files and organization, these are the central building blocks of your application. Wait, what are concept? Oh, modules and source. Okay, yeah. A module is code that is distributed as a unit. A module is code that is distributed as a unit. I like these little one-liners, so I'm going to highlight that. You probably recall seeing You probably recall seeing import cocoa, yes, at the top of your playgrounds and import foundation in your Swift files. These are frameworks which bundle together a number of related types that perform a series of related tasks. For example, Cocoa is a framework designed to facilitate the development of macOS applications. I was wondering what it was for. Modules are brought into another module using Swift's import keyword, as suggested by the examples above. What examples? Source files, on the other hand, are more discrete units. They represent a single file and live within a specific module. It is good practice to define... Oh, what the hell? It is good practice to define a single type within a source file. This is not a requirement, but doing so helps keep your project organized. This is not a requirement. Where's my backpack? Okay, wait. I missed that last part. It is good practice to define a single type. It is good practice to define a single type within a source file. This is not a requirement. Doing so helps keep your project organized. To define a single type within a source file? You mean a custom? I wonder if they mean a custom type. That seems like I just gotta take my drugs. I think I have a hernia. God almighty. Went too hard doing frog leaps. Source files in his hand. Yeah, I wonder what they mean by that, but I won't sidetrack on that. It's not interesting enough, brother. This is not a requirement, but doing so helps keep your project organized. So it provides 5 levels of access. Table 16.1. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, brother. All right. Okay. Why's the goddamn margin so wide, brother? Hold on. I can never decide which one I like. But I'll tell you one thing. Wait, it's already on narrow? How is... That's why I hate this app. How can this possibly be... Like, it doesn't get any... You can't get any wider, really. I go to layout. I change margins, and it, like, does shite. And this is the thinnest one. Just goofy, dude. I guess I can do this. I'm just a hater, I guess. Alright, so... Well, that's not what I wanted, though. We'll just make the window smaller. Yeah, Mac OS never seems to... Or ceases to, impress me with how complicated it can make viewing shit in a window. Yeah, I said it. Alright, here we go. So, no, now it's on one. Okay, that's fine. I'll just leave it at that size, actually. Alright, so open. What are we looking at again? So angry, I forgot. Bro, please stop doing that. My friends, please don't do what I did. Get out before it's too late. Don't buy your books on Kindle. I should make a video though. There's a really neat tool. It was only $30. There's also a free one, but it's a bitch to set up that will convert your because they're assholes, dude. That Kindle makes you download. You can download your books. But you got to plug in a Kindle, and you got to do it one at a time. But once you have that, it's like a .aw3 or Z or something file. It's their proprietary format with the. It has some signature on it that won't let you do anything to it. Basically, a little encoding or a little encryption. This tool will remove that, and then you can convert it to an EPUB, PDF, HTML. So I should put that on. It's a cool tool. But yeah, I need to do that to the rest of my books. All right. Anyway, now 5 levels of access. Access level open. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and highlight that bad boy right there. Okay. Access level open. Description. Entities are visible and subclassable to all files in the module and those that import the module. Access level open. Entities are visible. Okay, so that sounds like the default because we know from just building this little monster game or whatever it is I mean, we don't have to write any import statements. This is there by default, but that's just the what do you call it? All the C, Objective-C stuff for Swift. But that's just there. Or I mean, it's already in the standard library. But as far as like what we wrote, so town, monster, zombie, like in Go, if you wrote 3 other packages, well, I guess they don't have the concept of packages here either. Whatever. Anyway, the point is, in Go, for example, you would still, or even JavaScript, ES6, you would just have to import town. But it would be a package in Go. But yeah, you would still have to do that. So I guess we're about to find out. But yeah, it seems like that's just default, but you can control it. Defining modules and importing module. Yeah. Defining module and importing modules. Well, hopefully they touch on that though, because a lot of languages do it differently. But in my head, I'm thinking, because I think when I was learning Elixir, I got the Elixir Reddit so mad at me. They are so sensitive. And I'm not a troll. I was asking a real question. I said, why? Because I was upset, brother. Like, I thought Elixir was it. I've told y'all before, this was almost many things other than a Swift stream. But Swift just happened to be the thing that, because I'm meticulous in my research, brother. I was a product manager. And, I mean, you gotta know the technology platforms. Like, you can't just know how to program. I would argue that really understanding system design and platforms is even more important, because you're not really in the weeds like that doing implementation details for your app, you know. Like, I mostly wrote the SQL for our applications, but I didn't touch the FoxPro code. I didn't know FoxPro and didn't care to learn it. But on the other side of it, I was always looking at the platforms, like where would our code run, kind of a thing. And now I forgot my point. What the hell was I saying? What were we talking about? Oh yeah. Oh, Elixir. Yeah, they got so sensitive because I just asked, why would they add? They're trying to add a type system. They were waffling on it, or they're not waffle. I shouldn't say that. They polled the community. It's a dynamically typed language. Okay, they already have. There's already a. What's it called? It starts with a D. They already have like effectively what is kind of like JS doc for JavaScript. So via annotations, they can get type checking at compile time, right? So it's an add-on, but it works. And Elixir is already, like, if you've looked at the Stack Overflow surveys or any of the surveys really, it routinely ranks as like 1 or 2 in most loved language. And I agree. I mean, it's really fun to write, and when you see it, and it's really cool because it has a pipe operator. I just think any language with a pipe operator is cool because it just makes a lot of sense. And then I hear about this type system, like 14 years into it, and they're gonna. So all in my head, all I thought was, okay, you're gonna do this now at the height of your popularity, and all I could think of was Python 2 to 3. I'm like, brother, why would you do that? And Gleam just came out, and Gleam is a Beam language, which if you're not familiar with the Beam, it's another VM like the JVM, but it's called the Beam. But that's what Erlang runs on. That's what I think it's Prolog and Elixir, Gleam, They all run on the beam. So I asked the question, like, why would you do that now? And they got very triggered. You don't know what you're talking about. It'll be fine if Jose says. Okay, brother. Hey, that's cool, but I'm going to go learn Swift. That was actually my last stop before I arrived on Swift. So I was like, oh, shit, brother. This does everything. But yeah, you wouldn't know that just listening to the ninnies. So like, you got to be careful. Really do your own research. But yeah, OCaml was the same story. I mean, OCaml itself is fine, but OCaml had ReasonML. It was a Facebook technology, right? And ReasonML was basically an alternative syntax to OCaml, but they still targeted the same compiler, same backend. And they had this, Bloomberg put out this, a compiler called BuckleScript, and that's basically what was powering ReasonML. Well, then they, and that was awesome. Like, there was a lot of talks on it. It was pretty popular. And people still use it. You can still use it. But the problem is, I guess the people that were at the head of the snake, leading the web charge for ReasonML, they wanted even more of a focus on web development. And they felt constrained by having to stay compliant with the OCaml compiler. So they said, you know what, fuck it, let's just cut the ecosystem right in half. Hey everybody, we're coming out with Rescript, brother. Come use our shit. Come use Rescript. But your biggest draw was, like, the whole point was that you were compatible with the OCaml compiler. Like, that's a big deal. The OCaml compiler is legendary. Rust was fucking written in OCaml at first. That should tell you something. So to just chop your, like, main draw off, and now you're just maybe like 12 volunteers. There's no official backing from Facebook. It's not being funded by them. You want us to follow you, brother? And they took a lot of their libraries with them, but they archived them on GitHub and put up new ones on Rescript, but didn't bother to. They really fucked. That ecosystem got fucked. That's just how I feel. A lot of them, it's weird. Like, a lot of them have Stockholm syndrome, because I'm like, y'all deal with this? That was horrible, brother. I thought this was supposed to be easier web dev. This is just complicated as what JavaScript framework am I going to use? So I'll just go do that. You know what I mean? Damn. People will get upset that it's just all JavaScript, but y'all keep fucking up too. Stop changing. How is anybody supposed to adopt it if you keep changing it too? Just as guilty, brother. But yeah, you would not know these things. Just scrolling through Twitter, you would think something else. I would know because I did. All right. Anyway, so open, public. Entities are visible to all files in the module and those that import the module. Oh, maybe that's the default. Defining module and importing module. So it's visible to defining module. Subclassable within. I don't care about subclass. Internal. Oh, it literally tells you the default. Okay. Entities are visible to all files in the same module. Oh, that's why. Because I guess this is all one module. We haven't even defined a module yet. Defining module. Okay. File private. Entities are visible only within their defining source file. That's cool. And private entities are only. Are visible only within their defining scope. Isn't that the default too, though? What do you mean? I'm not sure what they mean by that. I mean, if you're in scope, you're in scope. If you're out of scope, you're out of scope. Open access is the least restrictive access level, and private access is the most restrictive access level. In general, a type's access level must be consistent with the access levels of its properties and methods. Damn, you can have access levels on the properties inside of them. Okay, grief. A property cannot have a less restrictive level of access control than its type. Yuck, man. I don't mean that. It just sounds, that's a lot of stuff going on. So that's like a, I guess for that it makes sense if it comes with the type. Yeah, okay. For example, a property with an access control level of internal, okay, cannot be declared on a type with private access. For example, a property with an access control level of internal cannot be less restrictive than the access control listed for its parameter types. Okay, that makes sense. If you violate these requirements, the compiler will issue an error to help you correct the mistake. Great. Swift specifies internal as the default level of access control for your app. Having a default level of access means that you do not need to declare access controls for every type. Good. Good. Property and method in your code. Internal makes sense as a default because you will typically be using the language to write Cocoa and iOS applications. Why do they call it Cocoa? It's weird. Both of which typically use a single module for the source code. Oh, really? That's interesting. A single module for the source code. Okay. That's good, actually. I mean, yeah, that's good. Thus, you only need to declare a level of access control when you need to specify access that is more or less visible than internal. Yeah, I guess that's what's strange is that it sounds more, I mean, it can definitely be more constrained, but it sounds a little more complicated in reference to Go, but I guess because like with this one, like on main, we can call stuff from Zombie without an import. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of it. In Go, a module is at the project level. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's module. And then you have packages. So package main is the entry point. And then you can have other packages. And each package would be its own directory. Or you can have, I can't have package main and then in that same directory have, like at that same level, have another package defined beneath it. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. I don't know. It's been a little bit since I've had to build the new Go app, but either way, it's nice. It's a nice system. I like that a lot. So I'm hoping when we get to the point, because I saw some of the config where you set up the build in Xcode, and I'm like, why? It just looks like a lot, because with Go, it's just like go build dash out, name your file, platform. Super easy. So hopefully it's not too crazy here, but yeah. Swift, like the access code. Okay. Swift specifies internal as the no, we read that. Let's see the private level of access in action. Create an is falling apart Boolean property defined on the zombie type. Define, huh? Is falling apart. Boolean property defined on the zombie type. Give it a default value of false. false. This property will keep track of an instance's physical integrity. Zombies, after all, sometimes lose bits. It's gross. Okay, so zombie. What do you want me to do, brother? Define a what? Oh, it's on the next page. There we go. Private var. Class zombie monster. Where do you want me to write it at? Walks with limp. Okay. Private var. Don't look at the privates. Is falling apart. Oops. Equal false. Override. What did you wrap here? Walks with limp. Override funk. Terrorize town. Oh, ahead of town. If not falling apart, what? Expected declaration. Override funk, terrorize town. Oh, I don't have a thingamajig. God damn it. What? Expected. And it won't click. Show me the error, motherfucker. Ooh. To match this opening. Oh. Oops. There we go. Alright. Alright. After you create the property, use it in the terrorize town function. Where? After we create the property, so we create it. Private var is falling apart. The override is here. Or terrorize town function is here. Body is here. So what are they saying? After you create the property, use it in terrorize town. Oh, duh, it's right there. Oh, so if not falling apart, then do. Oh, I see. So, okay. So if the monster is falling apart, then it cannot rain terror on the town because he's falling apart. You need all your bits to rain terror on the town. After you create the property, use it in terrorize town function. If is falling apart is false, then the instance is free to terrorize this town. Yeah, I should read that right because that's what that means. Because it's a bool. Yeah, this is a boolean, so this is just if it's false. Because true is the assumed condition, in a sense. Otherwise, this would mean true. Understand? All right. So, is falling apart. Wait. I skipped a line. Oh, yeah. Then the instance is free to terrorize the town. So, if is falling apart is false, then the instance is free to terrorize the town. If the instance is falling apart, then it will not be able to terrorize its town. Is falling apart is visible within terrorize town, this function, which makes perfect sense because it's in the scope here. And this, the function itself is at the same level as the private var. And if we go look at the table, private says visible to scope. And brother, I'm telling you, this is in fact the same scope. Oh wait, right there. Right? So that makes sense. Okay, so then defined within the same scope. Because this falling apart is a property on zombie, any property or method defined at this same level will be able to access this new property. However, is falling apart is not accessible outside the zombie class. Okay. Oh, is not accessible outside the zombie class. This property is a private implementation of the class, right? So only in scope. Okay, so that is the lowest level scope. So that's good. I mean, it makes sense that would be. Okay, so okay, brother. Okay. Then controlling getter and setter visibility. Oh wait, I gotta check my black hole sign. Okay. Controlling getter and setter visibility. If a property has both a getter and a setter, you can control the. Let me open that example. We had one. Getter and a setter. Well, there's a get. So this would have been a computed property example, and then oh, here it is, get set, right there. Getter and setter. Okay, so if a property has both a getter and a setter, which victim pool in this case does, you can control the visibility of the two independently. Wow. By default, however, the getter and setter have the same visibility here. Here is falling apart. Wait, here, comma, is falling apart has a private getter and a private setter. However, you probably want other files in your project to be able to tell whether a zombie is falling apart. Yes. You just do not want them to change its falling apartness. Yeah, that's right. Change the is falling apart property to have an internal getter and a private setter. Okay. Zombie. 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 What's that from? Oh yeah, that song. In your head. Zombie. But what's... Oh, The Office. Freaking Andy Bernard. That's where I heard it. Oh man, the golden age of sitcoms. I don't care what y'all say. All right, internal private var, huh? Internal private set. Ooh, what is this? Internal private set. Var is falling apart. I mean, if this is just that's a lot of hoops, brother. But I get it. I just use the syntax internal private set to specify that the getter should be internal and the setter should be private. Okay. I wonder if, can I write this then? Expected set as subject of internal modifier. Why? I hate this implicit business. Why can't I see where the get is being defined as that? I don't like that, brother. But we'll see. Sometimes they'll show you, so we'll keep going. But if in 2 pages I don't see it, we're going to the Oracle. However, you probably want other files. And then, okay, so we did that internal private set. So the get, the setting on the getter is just somehow magically tied to the getter through some understanding that I lack currently. But we can see what's going on with set because we can actually, we're allowed to write that, so it's being made private, and that makes sense to me. Okay, so I get half of that. Use syntax internal private set to specify that the getter should be internal and the setter should be private. You could use public, internal, or private for either with one restriction. The setter cannot be more visible than the getter. The setter. Oh, okay, yeah, sure. That makes sense. That means, for example, that if you make the getter internal, you cannot use public set because public is more visible than internal. And why would you want to have a separate access level for what sets your value versus who can read it? Or you would be giving wider access to who can change your data than those that could actually read it. I'm sure there's a use case somewhere. Furthermore, the zombie class is defaulting to internal. God dang. Because you do not specify any level of access yourself. That means marking is falling apart's getter or setter with public is falling apart. Because you do not specify. This means marking is falling apart's getter or setter with public will prompt the compiler to remind you with the warning that its defining class has internal visibility. You can clean this code up a little. If you leave off a modifier for the getter, the access control defaults to internal. Oh, is this one of those no, not that either. I want to know how to write this. I just want to see where the get is. That's all I want to see. But we'll do that here in a sec. Okay, then you can clean this code up a little if you leave the modifier off a getter. Okay. If you leave off a modifier for the getter, the access control defaults to internal, which is what you want here. Refactor Zombie to use the default visibility for the getter, internal, and private visibility for the setter. Okay. Using the default does not change anything except the amount of typing you have to do. The getter for is falling apart is still visible for other files in your project. The getter for is falling apart. Maybe I'm misunderstanding, but we're gonna ask. That's right. And the setter is still only visible within zombie class. This chapter introduced you to a lot of material. It did, man. I got my brain pushed in. Take some time to let all the ideas sink in. You learned about property syntax, stored versus computed properties, read-only and read-write properties, lazy loading and lazy properties, property observers. Yeah, those are cool. Type properties, efficient, access control, overkill. Properties are a central concept in Swift programming. It is a good idea to get comfortable with these ideas. The challenges below will help you master. Oh, yeah, challenges, brother. Hold on. I need to understand. Let's just take the whole thing. Copy. And you know, they put out a new GPT-4 model. Bro, just as long as y'all don't raise the price, I'm do whatever. GPT-4o. And they're like, our goal is to bring GPT-4 intelligence to even our free users. I'm like, well, what do I get then? I'm fucking paying for it. All them fucking leech. No, I'm playing, but I should get extra shit then. What am I paying for? I really don't know, so I'm curious. ChatGPT is now available for Mac OS. Huh? Access GPT from any screen with the new launcher. Oh, an app. Oh, good. I can get rid of this shit. What a letdown this was. I shouldn't say that, but it wasn't very good. This app called Mac GPT. It's a good name though. I like the name. I'm gonna put my key in. Now I gotta go invalid. Actually, I don't think the whole key was there. Is it? Oh, now it is. Let's see. Reset. Where is the... I just want the normal... Oh, whatever. Yeah, let's check it out. Could not harm you. You gotta love that good old Mac install process. Weirdest thing ever. Get rid of that other one. Where is it? Well, whatever. Let's check it out. Open. Google. Continue. But no, I briefly watched the first part of it. Apparently now everything's unified, so the vision, voice, and whatever the other part was. Using the launcher. Oh, use launcher and instantly ask ChatGPT anything no matter what to do. Option space. So does that call it from... Oh. Yeah, that's cool. Then... Oh, my mic isn't on this, though. It's on my Windows machine. Okay, so here's the function. And... Where did they say? Where's the part about the getter? To clean the, if you leave off the modifier. Yeah, there it is. Well, let's just give it the whole thing now that the context window's like 9 trillion fucking characters. I suppose that is one upside. You really do start to see, though, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's helpful, but it's very helpful. But you do, like, I think we're already seeing that. Because if you remember even 6 months ago, they were like, oh, just you wait. Like, once the context windows get to X size, all our jobs, bro, they're going to be fucking stupid. Oh, man. Boy, people are just gullible. They can't be bothered to go look shit up. They just can't. That's why when you ask yourself, how could something like this have happened? How could it? All these people could have known about it. They didn't know about it because very few people actually work. Fuck, at any level. Shit. But I digress. Given the below excerpts and code sample, where or how can I see where the, or no, wait. Given the below, is there a way to represent the getter in syntax when assigning it the internal access control, similar to the way the private set clearly indicates it is applied to the setter. Oh, I gave it an extra word. That still doesn't answer the question, brother. This makes this falling apart accessible from anywhere. But where can I define the or represent it? I'm not sure how else to say it. I.e., why don't I see the word get anywhere? Why don't I see the word yeah, okay, so you can't. It's just implied. So specifying different access levels for property getters and setters do not explicitly use the keyword get to indicate the access level of the getter. Instead, the getter's access level is implied by the primary access level of the property itself. This means that when you declare a property, the access level you specify directly next to the property name. Okay, wait. This means that when you declare a property, the access level you specify directly next to the property name is the access level for the getter. Yeah. It gets on my nerves though. That's not, to me, that's not simpler to just like, to completely omit something. Why not at least allow it to be represented? Internal parentheses get. For us beginners. I just like to see it. I hate it. The implicit stuff, because then you just, the more and more stuff you just kind of got to know. I don't like that, brother. I really don't, because then the idea to me is really that, or I guess the dream is that if you really did go all in and really write efficient code, you put a lot of effort into making it organized and all that, it would be nice if your code was self-documenting. Like someone could come along and just clearly read, but I don't know. I would just like to see the word. That's all. It's weird to me that, well, maybe that's what I should ask you. Okay, so why is it assumed that clear? Wait. Simple to omit the how or what could I use that? A particular thing. Or what am I trying to ask? Like what? I just want to know what they know. Like how is it so obvious? Like what is it that makes it so obvious to share in this? None of these are good reasons. I hate that though, because you use it on one side. It's like, wow, well, it's much simpler for the get, but then right on the next line, you use it for the setter. Why not just internal private? You know what I mean? What? Yeah, but nah. I'm trying to understand how to recognize a getter at a glance in Swift syntax such that I can share in the obvious perceived benefit. How about that? Since Swift syntax does not explicitly mark getters with the keyword like get. I think maybe I'm thinking about this in the wrong way. Look at properties declared. Look at the properties declared access level first. This is the access level of the getter. God, this fucking thing's confusing me, dude. Because, I mean, you do define get. We just did it. What is this? It's not Xcode, brother. We just had a fucking, right here, brother. Let me ask it that then. I'm sure I'm thinking of it incorrectly, but I need to know to what extent at this point. I'm confused. ICN explicit below are get and getter two different things. The use of get in the example you provided and the general concept of a getter in Swift are related, but pertain to different contexts within the language's property mechanisms. Let's clarify these two uses. See, it's so fucking good for this stuff if you can give it the right. I mean, you should still validate, but you start to come across, good ways to feed it in certain scenarios to get the information you need, and then it's like, just fucking stellar, brother. Great. But it's not intelligence. Stop it. Explicit get block. Okay, in the example you showed, get is used explicitly to define a computed property's getter block. Yeah, right. This is a method like block that calculates and returns a value every time the property is accessed. The this kind of explicit get block is necessary when you want to compute a value dynamically rather than storing it directly. Well, I say that but it's not necessary. Okay, see, it's not necessary because we added that. The book told us to write it without that shorthand, so that's not true. In this case, every time you access town size, you get block runs and returns. The get block runs and returns a value based on the current population. Implicit getters in stored properties. So this is where the confusion was. When discussing access levels and the default visibility of getters, like in previous explanations, I still don't know what a getter is. We refer to the implicit getter of a stored property. The stored proper. Okay, they define it for us. So I'll quit lacking. Word it. Stop jumping around there, brother. Oh, there it is. A stored property typically holds a value, and Swift automatically provides a getter and a setter unless the property is constant. Okay, so when discussing access levels, we refer to the implicit getter of a stored property within the context of access levels. Okay. A stored property typically holds a value, and Swift automatically provides. Oh, is this that new value thing they were talking about? If we don't name it, provides a getter and a setter for accessing or modifying that value. This getter does not need to be explicitly defined. It is provided by Swift unless you specify otherwise with a custom getter computed property. Okay. This could be the end of me. I need to see a picture. This getter does not need to be explicitly defined. It's provided by Swift unless you specify otherwise with a custom getter or read-only computed property. Difference between get and getter. Here we go, brother. Definitions. This is what we needed. Get. This is a keyword used in a computed property to define. So that's what we're looking at here. Computed property to. Wait, where to go? property to define a custom block of code that executes a return value. It's part of the syntax for computed properties. Okay, so that's a get block. I guess I should start calling them, not a getter. So they're two different things. A getter, this is a term that refers to the mechanism that retrieves the value of a property. Okay. Whether it is the automatic getter for a stored property, or a custom getter defined using the get block in a computed property. So what is the mechanism? We're getting there, but yeah, what is, I guess that's my question then. What is the mechanism? Show me what it fucking looks like. If you don't write it anywhere, what is it? That's my question. When to use which? Use the explicit get block when you need to compute a property's value dynamically rather than storing it directly, or when you want to provide a read-only property that it corresponds to. So it seems like it's almost like the getter, as they're describing it, is an expression. Brother, that's kind of what it sounds like. Let's ask it. But I think, yeah. Oh, there it is right there. Oh, they didn't add their little quoting feature. They should add that. That's one of the best parts of the web app. It'll just, you copy something, or as soon as you highlight something, a little quote thingy pops up. You click it, and then it will bring the prompt, so you can reference that exactly in the in your next prompt. But all good, brother. Not a big deal. So in this statement, please expound on the mechanism. It sounds like a getter has no definitive representation in the Swift syntax. Is it akin to an the functional aspect of property access that involves what? We're referring to the functional aspect of property access. So only that. Whilst retrieving a value. Let's dive deeper into how this mechanism works and how it's represented in Swift, whether explicitly or implicitly. The mechanism of a getter. A getter is fundamentally a piece of code that is executed to obtain the current value of a property. There it is. There it is. That. God damn it. Yes, I guess the real. I can't print this. Can I print this whole thing? You got me on that old shit, brother. You can't give me that 4.0, brother. Oh, god damn, it's faster. Wow. Now, they did say that it's a lot faster. Oh, yeah, brother. You have any idea how much shitty code I'm going to generate now? These fucking nutbags. I just can't. I get so triggered. Well, not anymore, really. But I was for a while. Just so goofy, the thought. Anyway. So yeah, okay, so it is like an expression. It's a piece of code. It's a whatever defines it. Okay, so in that sense, is it... I just have one more question then. Yeah, so the getter... Okay, so before I read all that, I just want to make sure. I think I get it though. So it's not defined in the caller. It's a part of whatever the thing is. I guess it could be a part of a struct, enum, or class, right? I think. Maybe I should read all this. Okay, so let's just do that. When to use... No, we... Okay, here it is. In Swift, a getter is indeed a mechanism used to retrieve a value of a property. This mechanism can be either implicit or explicit depending on the type of property you're working with. Okay, so in terms of scope, it's to properties. So yes, so okay, so in my mind I can say getters are relative to structs, enums, anything that can have a property defined. Structs, enums, and classes. Maybe more. Not sure. But we know that. So, okay. So there's some... That's its umbrella. That's good. Let's break down these concepts to clarify how they function and how they are represented in Swift syntax. Oh, brother, speaking my language. Implicit getter for stored properties. Can this get bigger? Or no, that's not a thing. View. No. There are settings. Oh, if I can turn on output for, and then it can just read to us, I think. Properties. E.g. Elgato. Route audio to the central channel instead of left or right stereo channels. Yeah. Monitor and output. Wait, what? Oh, it's already on? I guess it is. So then, keyboard shortcut, keep ChatGPT on top. What the hell was I looking? Oh, font. Yeah. Is there a personalization? As you chat with ChatGPT, the detailed preferences, the details and preferences it remembers will be shown here. Creepy, brother. To understand what ChatGPT remembers or teaches something new, just chat with it. I just got a puppy. What do you remember about me? Where did we leave off on my last project? What? Ugh. Ship me a broken app, brother. Man, you got me all excited. Memory, whatever. Fuck off. All right. That was short-lived, brother. Let's just get through it. Oh, man. I wanted to read me all this, but it's fine. Whatever. Okay, so it's scope to those three things. It applies to access control and is relative to properties and the level of access. Okay, so now implicit getters for stored properties. And stored properties. Lazy stored properties, nested types, basic. There we go. Oh, okay, so the stored properties, yeah. They were just static values that get held in memory. When the, like if the town was initialized, region just goes and just holds it in memory. Okay, and then, okay, so what were you saying there, brother? So for stored properties, Swift automatically provides an implicit getter. A stored property is one that directly stores a value. When you access this property, Swift uses the implicit getter. I have to use the restroom. Hold on one sec. Oh boy. It won't be long. It's just, it's nothing serious, brother. Don't worry about it. Pow, pow. Jared, we gotta get that. We really gotta get a banner up. But for now, in ghetto style, baby. All right, BRB. Hold on to your chickens. They get to licking. Just throw your hands in the air. Wave them like you just don't care. Oh yeah, I'm back, baby. Like I never left. And I got a muffin. Don't mind all the crinkling. My bad, it's probably loud. Man, that shit's harder than a mug. They gave me all stale ass fucking muffin. No respect, bro. Wait till I... No, that's cool, bro, Einstein. Wait till I get down there again. I'll carry it up quick, boy, if I don't feel respected. You know what I'm saying? All right, anyway. Rivalries with fast food chains aside. This is interesting. I feel like we're getting somewhere. So, implicit getter. It's the language, though, that's just kind of odd to me. What does that mean? It automatically provides. Provides what? An implicit getter. Well, I mean, that's the what, but. A stored property is one that directly stores a value. When you access property, Swift uses the implicit getter to return the value. So, I mean, it sounds like at this point, it's something that is, it embodies many things, but it just depends on what the thing is, but it's just a piece of code. So I guess that's really my answer. So then, well, we'll keep going. We'll keep going because it went through all the trouble of giving us this great answer here. Here's an example of a stored property with an implicit getter. Oh, great. Stored property, a key, Alice. Implicit getter. So here's a constant. Let person equal the class person, which is a string with the default value of Alice. So we print class dot notation name and access Alice, and this accessing the implicit getter for the name property. Okay, that's great. Thank you for that, ChatGPT. I mean, that straight up tells you. But okay, so I mean, I guess you got to call it something. I'm not gonna hate on that, but it really is as vague as it sounds. In this example, name is a stored property. When you access person.name, Swift uses the implicit getter to retrieve the value Alice. Yeah. So notice the language here, accessing the implicit getter. This isn't the getter itself. So the getter really is just however the thing executes inside the scope of the thing. Hence the word mechanism. Okay. Some lower level thing. Okay. And I guess the other the other thing that really clarifies it for me is the fact that these are two different things. The get code block we saw, and the getter itself just as a term, as a general term, getter. Okay, but we'll keep going. So here's an example of a computer property. Yeah, we didn't see this one. Yeah. Explicit getter for computed properties. For computed properties, you define an explicit getter using the get keyword. Yeah, so get it's a keyword. Thank you. Whereas getter is a bit more esoterically defined, and it's a bit more out there. It has many volumes, many forms, many additions. A computed property doesn't store a value directly. Instead, it computes and returns a value each time it is accessed. Here's an example of a computed property with an explicit getter. Okay, computed property with an explicit getter. So here's our class, here's the computed property. And there's our similar implementation with the get block. So here the get keyword and the two little parentheses here. That's obviously a piece of the Swift syntax, valid syntax. So you use that in this case to define the getter. But this is the getter, brother. Okay. Okay, yeah. So, okay. So I guess that also means anything that returns anything has a getter. In this example, area is a computed property with an explicit getter. Each time you access rectangle.area, the get block executes, computes the area by multiplying width and height, and returns the result. I gotcha. Mechanism in Swift syntax. Implicit getter. For stored properties, the getter mechanism, I'm stuck down here. Implicit getter. For stored properties, the getter mechanism is provided by default by Swift. Yeah. Okay. Without any need for explicit syntax. That's always going to bother me. Just, Just because how it's said, it's like, without any need, why would you want, there's no need, it's redundant, very looking, nerdy, kind of looking down your nose. I shouldn't say nerdy, not all nerds are pretentious. Hell, I'm a nerd, or some form of one. But I'm just saying, it sounds pretentious. Like, stop trying to sell me on the idea that code is more readable when you leave out words. Especially 3-letter words. But then you treat the next 3-letter word, set, differently. That shit about readability. Clearly there was a deadline hit, and they felt it was simple enough. No need to go back and, why would we do that? Yeah, exactly. Well, because y'all been programming for your whole fucking life, probably, is why. I can see that. I mean, it happens. I get it. I get that part of it, but yeah, we got there, so I'll quit complaining. It's just leftover trauma, I guess. Okay, so explicit getter, we got that. Okay, representation. This was a hell of an answer, and this really helped. Representation in comparison to expressions. Oh, that was my little jab there. Is that a better description, brother? The implicit getter for a stored property doesn't have a visible representation in the code. Put that on a t-shirt. It's part of the language's underlying functionality. It's akin to an automatically provided function that Swift generates for you. Oh, I'd like to see the source code for that then. The explicit getter in a computed property, on the other hand, is clearly represented in the syntax, similar to defining a method or a closure that runs to produce a value. Yeah, we get all that. A plus, funny. Yeah. This is, pop. I think it was board mix where I was going to keep it. Anyway, all of the highlighted stuff and stuff that I come across along the way, I'm going to be, Jer and I are going to be updating this board. I need to post it. I need to pick a final spot. I think what I'm going to do, if you have Actually, yeah, this is what I'll do because I already have it and I know it'll work perfectly for that. So I think I'll publish all the learning material, any updates, whatever, through Telegram. If y'all ever heard of that, there's an app called Telegram, and it's free. There is a paid version. It's $30 a year, but you don't need it to interact with it. You can still have most of the features, but it's awesome. I mean, $30 a year, you get unlimited storage. You can upload files up to 4 gigs in size, which a lot of these annoying cloud services don't do that. And it's unlimited, which is great for me because I put all my SQL backups up there. No limit, brother. It's crazy. And it's basically like having Dropbox, but with a chat interface over it, because it syncs, to all your devices. You can download them at will. And the neat thing about Telegram, the reason I want to use it for this, is you can also they have this concept of public and private channels, kind of like an RSS feed or like a subreddit kind of thing, but it's just a URL. So if you're a Telegram user and I make a channel public, you can search channels and then it's just a feed, just a chat. It's really, really simple. It's fast. It's on all platforms. It's free. It's on the web, desktop app, iOS, Android. It's super popular, but it was one of those apps like I had never, up until like 6 months ago, I had never heard of it. But no, it's awesome. I love it. It's the first thing that I've used. Like, it's my main form of communication now over iMessage, and I never thought that would happen, but it's just that good. But yeah, no, it's great. Video calls, FaceTime, conference calls, all that's built in. It's crazy. It's private. GIFs, memes, stickers. All right, I'll stop pushing it. But seriously, I mean, one of technology's best kept secrets, IMO. Now, this app, I'm not trying to say you guys nothing. I'm just telling. I like to buy a lot of tools just because I waste a lot of money, I guess. But this app is actually really great, and I think I would say up until 2-3 months ago, before I figured out, or before I discovered Excalidraw, the Excalidraw plugin in Obsidian, I would have said this is the best whiteboarding software. So yeah, check it out. They had a crazy deal. Whenever I signed up, it was they had a lifetime deal going. Like a lot of these newer web apps, I guess it's a form of betting on yourself and also giving the benefit to the user. So I like these deals a lot, but they'll have these lifetime license deals where you can pay a higher amount. Like I paid, I think it was $200, lifetime, 10 members, 200 gigs of storage for a whiteboard. Like I'll never fill that up. That's awesome. And there's a lot of great features here. I mean, where is oh yeah, it's here. It is here. Oh no, that's not it. It's this one. Yeah. Okay. So let's drop this bad boy. But yeah, like, one of the things, this is off topic, but one of the things that just fucking kills me about these apps like this. I love these apps, but the thing that kills me, when you don't make the right click, how you pan around the fucking thing. And instead or at least, it doesn't have to be the default, but let me make it that. And like Excalidraw, Milanote, there's a couple of like good apps that are guilty of not using the right click, and I hate it, man. And the other thing is, by default, it should, on an infinite canvas style thing, the scroll wheel should zoom by default. That's what it should do. That's a statement. A fact. Okay? That's what it should do. Not it shouldn't pan the screen like I'm going up and down. Why? I'm very picky about these things. But no, I think this one, Miro, is another one that's really good. But Miro is bullshit because Miro, look at this. I'm going to show you this. I'm just talking right now. Calm down. Here. Well, any of this stuff, like you get a crazy amount of, I mean, that's just AI gen, so that's whatever. This one has AI built in. It's not really, it is helpful, and you get some credits. I haven't even touched mine. You start with 10,000. I've barely used, but that's not even it works, and that's cool. I don't have much use for it. I just use it for designs, but where are okay, so all this stuff, you get access to all these templates. They are also on Telegram, so they have a lot of there's a community there where everyone shares stuff, and you also have easily, and this is a big deal, easily the best web extension I've ever used. I mean, it's incredible. Let me I'll show you. So let's say I'm doing research, right? This is it right here, board mix little. But what's my favorite thing about it, it stays out of the way. I don't ever have to go up there and touch it unless I'm saving something. But if I'm actually selecting content, I don't have to go all the way up here like some other. So look, I highlight this, right? I'd like to save this snippet. So this is great for presentations. I would use it this way all the time to build my slides. So I right click it, and then you see down here, capture text to board mix. So I can just send that passage, bam, just like that. But even better, if I go to, say, here, see that? So if I go over any image, I get my little board mix thing. I'll send it right to board mix. Okay, cool, but where's it going? Well, really? It's going here to the resource library. So then you can come back and go to, where is it? Team? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so everything that you send in is here. And you can either, you can audit it, keep it, delete it, add tags to it. I mean, so sick. And then you can just pull it onto the canvas. I can't begin to tell you how great this freaking web extension. It saves me just a ton of time. So check out BoardMix. I have no affiliate link. Hell, maybe I should, but no, really, it's an awesome app, and it's a good community. I want to say it's I mean, as far as I can tell, the people that are developing it, because you can interact with them directly on through Telegram or through the Discord. I know they have a Discord too, but I mean, they seem to speak perfect English. I don't have any issue. I mean, we've interacted directly. He's fixed some things, so they're very responsive. But sometimes when you go to the site, it's in Japanese. So I don't know if maybe that's why I never heard of it. I had never heard of BoardMix. But anyway, I'm just saying, it's legit. And you have permissions, so you can control who can see what. You can use it for client work, meaning you can give guests. They can do the whole collaboration. They can see but not edit. You can give permissions to members to edit. Really, I think the only thing I don't like, or the only thing I would say I don't even know if I can say that really. I can't say a downside. I'll just say I like the Excalidraw aesthetic, but that's a minor thing. And this has crazy customization. There's a light mode. There's all kinds of stuff. So yeah, go peep that if you've been looking for a tool that can do it all in terms of the design stuff, presentations, and then also what's it called? Check for that lifetime deal. I mean, if the deal's still going, I think it is, then I think it's an easy buy. But otherwise, because these things aren't going away, Yeah, they're still running it. So if you're in the market, do that thing. Now, anyway, my point was I'm going to put all the stuff here over time. This board will get bigger. I'll get this. That's just bullshit. I don't know what this is actually. What is that? Why did I save it? And I will post the link, and then we'll share all this stuff in Telegram, and it'll reference you here. All right, so now let's go back to Xcode. We're back to were we done with? Yeah, we were done. Now there was one more thing that I wanted to cap off. Well, I guess it's not really worth beating the dead horse. Yeah, because anything further, I'm just effectively just questioning the language design choices, and that is not productive, nor am I qualified. So, okay, so then initialization. Well, since that, what are we at? We are at, okay, 2 hours. So I guess we'll call it here, folks. I want to thank you so much for tuning in, going on this journey with me. All my life. No, I'm playing. No, but thanks for watching, and make sure we'll be back tomorrow, same time. Make sure you tune in tonight as well for the 100 days of ranked Halo that I'm running, Road to Onyx. I am currently, Jer sucks at Halo. I am currently playing. You suck at Halo. I sucked 50 days ago, but I'm doing a little something now. You might want to come see. I'm showing these punk ass little 12-year-olds, little oily nerds. I'm showing them what happens when you run into an OG. Started from the fucking grassroots of Halo 2, came up through the standbying and the cheating, persevered, went through all the Halo 3 shitty maps, fucking super jumping and rocket sword lunging. Yeah, I don't even know. I survived the shitbag that was Halo Reach. Still got to Onyx in that motherfucker. Even though I hated Bloom. That's when they almost killed Halo for me. Why would they do that? I don't know. But they did it. And then they took it out. And they lost themselves. And then Halo 4 came and everyone was like, what the fuck is this? Is it even Halo? I liked it. I thought the mechanics were good enough. That's all I care about. I like the skill aspect of it, but I can see why people got all chafed about the story. Yeah, understandably so, but hey, brother. Let's focus on what's beautiful about Halo, and it's the game mechanics, the maps, the skill, the even playing field, and it's just simple competition. It's beautiful. And then Halo 5 came, and honestly, I have a hard time remembering what Halo 5 looked like. I'm trying to think of a Halo 5 specific thing. Yeah, I got nothing. I know I played it though. But anyway, then we got Infinite. And I got to tell you, I think it's hands down the best mechanics. So I'm having a lot of fun with it now that I feel like I can, play somewhat up to my old level. So make sure you check that out. That was a long aside. Sorry about that. But appreciate you guys. Otherwise, take care of each other. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Get some damn sleep. You're not superhuman. You're just going to regret that. You only get one body, brother, sister. So take care of yourself. How about that? Just do that. Just do one thing today. Take care of yourself. Have a good day.